Welcome to Story Connections, where we discuss books and all the wonderful, exciting, frightening, and fascinating tales they present, and how all these things pertain to our lives. Now, here are your hosts, Kathryn, Townsend, and Rebecca Guthrie.
So the book that I'm going to recommend is Murder on a Girls' Night Out by Anne George, which is the first of 8 books by Anne George. Anne George actually passed away in 2001, so this is an older series, but it is so funny. And Anne George is a fantastic writer. She actually was also a poet. She was a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet. And while her books are not poetic necessarily, the fact that she is a poet, I think, is reflected in her use of language, because the way that she puts words together to paint a picture is fantastic. You have a vivid sense of where things are happening. You have a vivid sense of what the people are like. There isn't a character that she introduces that you don't have some kind of emotional connection with. Even the ones that are just temporary, even the ones that are, not even secondary, tertiary, have something that makes them feel three-dimensional. And there are not very many mystery writers who do that. Often when characters come in, they are not, they're there because they have a job to do, and they aren't anything other than just, there to do their job. She actually gives them flesh.
So it's the Shakespeare quote, there are no small actors, just small parts?
I think it's the other way around.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
There are no small parts,
just small actors.
Yes, exactly. And, I think that's hard to do in mystery because most mysteries really are plot-driven. The reason you're reading it is because something happened and you want to find out why it happened and who did it. And that, by its very nature, makes a mystery a plot-driven piece of work. And so when characterization is strong, the mystery itself becomes a better mystery. So I feel like the whole Anne George series, the canon of Anne George, I guess, is worth reading. And I was really, really sad when she passed away. And usually when an author passes away, I feel like, well, that's unfortunate, because I feel like whenever anybody passes away, that's unfortunate. When Anne George passed away, I felt like people, a whole cast of people that I knew had died. I wanted to find out what happened to the sisters in the mystery. I wanted to find out what happened to their kids. I wanted to know what happened to their grandkids.
So there was no closure.
There was no closure. It was very difficult. So Murder on a Girls' Night Out is your introduction to the Southern sisters, who are Mouse and Sister. And those are their nicknames from when they are little girls. And Mouse has been married to the same man for a long time, and she's got kids, and she used to be a teacher, and she is just, like your housewife, right? And then there's Sister. And Sister is larger than life. She's an enormous woman, physically enormous. She's got a huge personality, and she's been married and married and married and married. And she makes a habit of marrying men who are older than she is, who are rich, and then they die. So she's really, really wealthy because she's been widowed so many times by these men who had a lot of money. And so she decides that she's going to buy a country western bar because she likes country western music, and she likes line dancing, and, she's got money to burn, so she's going to buy a country western bar. And she and Mouse, Aunt, Sister, and Mouse, go to the country western bar so that Mouse can see the country western bar, and there's a body.
Okay.
And so they get sucked in because Aunt Sister can't possibly leave things alone, and Mouse sort of gets sucked along behind her. And it's fantastically funny as they're interacting and they solve this mystery.
Okay. So that was it's
Murder on a Girls' Night Out by Anne George.